Well, hello there, Daniel the Blue Schools Class here. And yes, we're finally back. Schools Class Days is finally here. A series where we take a look at all of the Schools Class locomotives that make it into preservation in Universe of 71K. 6th episode already. The most long-going series on my channel, and unfortunately the most unpopular one. Yes, the series is coming to an end very soon, and I decided to update the background here. Good job on my part. And today we have a very special episode, and you know exactly why. Because today we're looking at the 3 actual preserved schools classes. I'm obviously talking about Cheltenham, Repton and Stowe, the iconic trio. The most well-known, America Traveller, and the Speedy Boy. Let's dive into a history of each of them, starting obviously with Cheltenham. Cheltenham was built in April of 1934 at Southern Railway's Eastleigh Works and was numbered 925 and named after Cheltenham College. After entering service, Cheltenham was based at Repton at Portsmouth area, where he hauled express passenger trains on the Waterloo to Portsmouth line. Following the electrification of the Portsmouth route, Cheltenham was transferred to Bournemouth, where he worked heavy express services such as the Bournemouth Limited. During the Second World War, Cheltenham found himself transferred to Dover due to traffic demands and wartime operations, and repainted into a plain black wartime livery. After the formation of the British Railways in 1948, Cheltenham found himself being repainted into a BR black livery, and his number being changed from 925 to 30925. Between 1950 and 1961, Cheltenham changed many shed allocations, including bricklayers, arms, Stewart Lane, and finally Basingstoke. At final years of his working career under BR, Cheltenham hauled a number of special rail tours and enthusiast excursions, including a notable tour from Nottingham in 1962, and even work with Royal Train. But very quickly, the inevitable happened. Cheltenham was withdrawn in 1962 at Basingstoke. But as we all know, Cheltenham is of course preserved and stored at various locations, including Fratton and Preston Park between 1963 and 1970. Between 1970 and 1973, Cheltenham was transferred to Stangate Steam Trust at Tisley, and then to Dingting Railway Centre. And in 1980, he finally returned to steam for the Rainhill Centenary. Between 2010 and 2012, Cheltenham underwent a full overhaul at Eastleigh, his home, and returned to service in Southern Railway Malachite Green livery. Cheltenham went to work on the Midlands Railway, the Watercress Line, under long-term loan from the National Railway Museum. Unfortunately, in 2022, Cheltenham's boiler certificate expired, and he's currently awaiting overhaul. And in 2024, he returned to static display at the National Railway Museum in York, sporting a BR Brunswick Green livery. Cheltenham doesn't really have anything interesting to his personality. He's basically just typical nice guy. He don't have desires and big dreams. He hasn't done anything really special throughout his entire life. Thus, everyone, for some reason, knows him. Why can't we all be like this? And this is the life of Cheltenham, the most well-known preserved schools class. Let's see what Repton has to offer. Built a month later in May 1934 and named after Repton School and numbered 926, Repton was initially located at Bournemouth, and he also spent a time at Fratton handling Waterloo to Portsmouth service until the line's electrification in 1937. After 1937, Repton returned to Bournemouth, replacing one of the King Arthur class locomotives on express trains. During the World War II, Repton continued in regular express services through wartime, especially on lighter and mainline expresses out of Bournemouth. After the formation of the British Railways in 1948, Repton found his number being changed from 926 to 30926, and he continued hauling express passenger trains and inter-regional workings for British Railways. Repton's final allocation was Basingstoke, where he was finally withdrawn in 1962, despite his recent overhaul in 1960. But as we all know, Repton avoided scrapping and entered preservation. In 1966, he was purchased for preservation and restored at Eastleigh Works. After restoration, Repton was donated to Steamtown, USA in Vermont, and from there was loaned to Cape Breton Steam Railway in Canada, where he ran regular services. During this period, Repton was fitted with a high-sided coal tender to suit North America operations. Some schools class has been fitted with similar tenders during BR days. However, Repton's is unique. Repton returned to UK in 1989 and was sold to a private owner before eventually becoming a part of North Yorkshire Moors Railway. Repton currently operating in his southern olive green livery, carrying his original number 926. He became a regular and popular performer on NYMR, and he's taken part in almost every steam gala and special rail events, despite the fact that he's not particularly fond of them. Repton's personality is, well, he basically doesn't give a damn about anything, just leave him alone. Don't bother him about nothing, he's just tired of his life. And this is Repton, the schools class with perhaps the most colourful history in preservation. Okay, what's Stowe got there? Stowe is currently the youngest preserved schools class and was built in June, same 1934, at Eastleigh, numbered 928 and named after Stowe School. Initially sent to Fratton to handle the Waterloo to Portsmouth expresses, Stowe made himself famous, as in 1938, near Wool, while hauling a 4-coach train, Stowe reached speed of 95 miles an hour, the fastest recorded speed for a schools class. But after electrification of the Portsmouth route in 1937, Stowe, like other schools classes working on the line at the time, was reallocated to Bournemouth. After British Railways was formed in 1948, Stowe found his number being changed from 928 to 30928, and he continued to pull passenger express trains and secondary express duties throughout 1950s and early 1960s. Stowe was withdrawn from service in November 17, 1962. Stowe was purchased for preservation on the day he was withdrawn by Lord Montague of Beaulieu for display at the National Motor Museum at Beaulieu. After sitting on static display at the museum in 1973, Stowe was moved to East Somerset Railway and later in 1980 to the Bluebell Railway. At Bluebell, Stowe was quickly restored to operational condition, with his overhaul completed in 1981, after which he operated enthusiast and heritage services. Between 1981 and 1991, Stowe was a popular performer on the Bluebell Railway and its special events. His boiler certificate unfortunately expired in 1991, and he was withdrawn from service and became a static display again. But in September 2000, Stowe was purchased by Maunsell Locomotive Society. His tender was extensively rebuilt early in the restoration, and major work continues on Stowe's boiler, frames, and valve gear as part of comprehensive overhaul with no fixed return to steam date yet. That's unfortunate for Stowe. He's not the type of guy who likes to sit around doing nothing. Stowe is really curious and always wants to learn new things and explore his surroundings. He also has a passion for speed, remembering the record, and he also likes to boast about it a lot. But hey, none of us is ideal. I hope we will soon see Stowe steaming again. And with that, there's only one schools class left to cover, and I think we all know exactly who this is. But that's a story for another day. And for now, goodbye.